Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of my beloved Bhagwan. This 1 year it just went off like a flash for me. You know, they say just in the blink of an eye. It just flew past like that. Because this 1 year was just loaded with experiences for me. With Swami's grace and His divine blessings. Just full of experiences which, you know, I said, Swami, enough, how much will give us, But still He kept pouring, He just kept pouring His love on us like that. And I have actually very less time to share so much of experiences with you all. That happened in 1 year and just 15 minutes is quite a tough job, right? So I'll just pick up some of the very important and very memorable, very lovable experiences which I had over there with you all. And rest some other time if any one of us gives us a chance or something then. So starting, we'll go date wise. So the first thing which comes in the calendar here is the biggest event is Gram Seva. So this was a very memorable and beautiful experience which even our brother would share here. Rahul brother would also say the same thing. Around 2,500 students go to about 150 villages and do service is not a joke. It's something which is so drastic and something which is really great, right? It's not something which can be done by you and me. It can be done only by Swami Himself. So much of love that He has waved upon all of us that we all come together as one team, all 2,500 of us, in 42 vans, or should I call it trucks, in which 20 of us travel together to the villages in Bukkapatnam, Kottacheru and Puttaparthi. Puttaparthi is actually like a town now. So inside them there will be a few more villages, so we'll be covering them also. So Puttaparthi, Bukkapatnam and Kottacheru, we'll be going to all these places in this truck, and we'll not be doing what you don't know actually, seriously, because we'll be singing bhajans, we'll be enjoying, we'll just be seeing. Actually the scenery itself is quite good over there, because you know we feel Rayalaseema area, the second driest region in India, but you know what, how it has been transformed by Swami, it's just remarkable. Now it's just full of greenery all around, and you know Swami has also said that once after some 20 years or something, Puttaparthi is going to be like a hill station. So that many trees have been grown there, and it's just such a divine atmosphere over there. So that was a beautiful experience, going there to villages and serving people over there. Now here's some very interesting experience which I had over here, a learning curve for me. What happened was, you know, generally when we serve, we students go and serve people. Those people, you know, they receive it with so much of happiness in their face, and you know, the joyous smile, such a divine smile it would be, and you know, you feel your life is just, it's done. You know, this moment is the best. When you see that smile on their face, you feel, wow, you've done something really very great. You know, you have done something, you have given them something, and then you know, you have given them such a big, joyous moment in their life, which they might never get again. I mean, next year it will come, but in the year it will never come again. So in that case, what I thought was, you know, I'm the one who's giving, and you know, they're taking. So for my ego, no, it'll start rising like, oh, okay, I'm giving, so I'm doing something in Swami's mission. Okay, right, so we are part of His mission, right? Fine, so we're doing something great, and all that, you know, our thoughts will, you know, start coming up. Just for lip service, we'll tell, oh, Swami's prasadam, yeah, that's all. And after that, no, you'll feel, oh, I have given the prasadam, right? Correct. And all that you'll feel. But after 2 days or 3 days, we went to one village. I won't call it terrible village, but the people over there were a little this way, that way. In the sense, when you go and give prasadam to them, what will happen is we'll give food packets, and we'll give either sari or dhoti, respectively, if it's a male or a female. So when we give, once when we gave sari to a lady, she looked at the sari and she said, no, I don't like this color, you give me some other color. So that time we said, no, Sairam, Sairam, Swami Prasadam, we can't give it and all that. Then she got really angry with us and then she started shouting, hey, Tona Putana, and all that, she started shouting. I got scared and then I ran back to my teacher, who will come with us in the van. I went back to him and said, what is this lady shouting at us? And I told him with so much of, such a big worried face I had. And then he told me one very, very important quote, which I remember now. That is, whether it is praises or whether it is curses, both of them, leave it to Swami. This I thought, oh God, I was thinking so much, no, I am the one who's doing and all that, and then finally when I'm doing something great, that lady shouting at me, what is this nonsense, it's not supposed to be like that, this is adharma and all that I was thinking. Suddenly our teacher is coming and telling, you don't worry about all that, you just give the prasadam, which anyway Swami is prasadam. If anybody says something about that, then it goes to Swami, and if anything goes to Swami, it will obviously be purified. So the moment he said that, then it struck me that, okay, fine, so we have been here and we have learned something for the first time. So that was the first ever thing that I learned from this Gram Seva experience, in which, all the time I've been hearing over here about surrender and about, giving it to Swami and all that, but there I experienced it. Our teacher told in a time when I thought that, I was not surrendering. In a situation where I was not thinking about Swami, I was thinking about myself. So in that situation when he told me, it just went and hit the nail on my head. So that was a beautiful experience. And now connected to this, there's another wonderful thing which not happened to me, but to another elderly alumni of Sri Sathya Sai University, Puttaparthi. Once during the dinner session with Swami, all the students which they had, that time Swami asked the students, who's going to be speaking tomorrow? Because this happened during the Navratri time, and during the Navratri time is when we have the Gram Seva, and during the Navratri time is when we have the full of this discourses and all that given. For full 9 days, Swami will be giving discourses, and also all the students will be talking about Swami. So it will be a beautiful experience. It will enrich your spiritual life, physical life and mental life. Such a beautiful period it is. And while talking to the student, Swami asked, who's going to be speaking tomorrow? So one boy raised up his hand, I forgot his name, but that brother, elderly brother, he raised up his hand, he said, I'm speaking Swami. He's supposed to be a very good speaker actually. And then Swami asked him, which topic are you speaking on? Then he suddenly got up and with so much of enthusiasm, he said, surrender Swami, surrender. So he said, Swami said, okay, what is surrender? Yes. Then he gave a textbook reply in which all of our, we'll have these HV textbooks given to us, and then from there he just mucked up that line, and then he told Swami, surrender is giving everything to God, offering everything to God, whatever we do, we should do in the name of God. Then Swami said, very good, very good. What is surrender? He asked again. Then after that, Swami, just now I said Swami, that surrender, no? Tona Pota, that is not surrender. What is surrender? Swami, giving everything to God, Swami. He said, what do you think? God is a beggar or what? Giving everything to Swami means, I have everything already, what you will give me now? Then he became shocked and then he didn't know what to reply. After that, Swami, after a moment of silence, then Swami revealed to him, what is surrender? Think that you are going in a car. When you are going in the car, the driver is there. Yes, one. Gear is there. Yes, one. How many? Yes. And how many? He said, Swami, 4 are there. Maybe old model vehicle, now there are 5. Including reverse, 6. So without reverse, he said 4. So it's an old model car. But still, he said 4. Swami said, how do you put the gear? It was like some driving school which was going on over there. I don't know what was going on. After that, he thought, why is Swami asking all these questions, or why is asking all this, he thought. After that, I said, Swami, first like this, then like this, then like this, then like this, he said. When he said this, Swami immediately said, that only. Going like this, happiness, sorrow, happiness, sorrow, happiness, sorrow. That Swami showed. After that he said, for moving this gear, can you do it without the clutch? No. So in this case, when you press the clutch, that clutch is called surrender. This is what Swami said. Now why the clutch is called surrender? Because the moment you press the clutch and then you put the gear, you will not have any problem. The car will move smoothly. But if you do not press the clutch at all, or you just press it halfway through and then just put the gear, it will get stuck up somewhere or it will just stop off. So that's the importance of surrender. When we are happy or when we are totally gone, that time there will be no problem. We will be very peaceful, no problem. We will be either very happy or we will be very sad. But when there is this transition between sadness to happiness and happiness to sadness, that's where the problem comes. From happiness, you'll be in the peak of everything, suddenly you'll fall down, you feel, what? Oh God, I was there, suddenly I came here, what's this you feel? And from here when you go up again, your ego will rise so much. I've done something great, you feel. And you'll go right up. So this transition is the problem, and in this place you have to use the clutch, Swami said. Now this was told some 15 years back, and now we recollect it, and we feel that we all are at least, when we hear it, we feel, okay, this is the way maybe we have to go about things. And a new perspective comes in our mind. So that's why I said this was, we students have been given a very nice opportunity to ask Swami anything that we want. In the sense that you can ask him anything, spiritual doubt. If you want, you can ask him, I want an ice cream, Swami, he'll give you. If you want, you can ask him anything. Even the cheapest things to the highest things. So it depends on us what we are going to ask him. The moment we ask him the highest thing, he will give it. And when he gives it, it's not just that person who will be benefited, but it will be all the others who are benefited. So this is one very important thing which I learned from there, which got connected from Gram Seva. So this is one thing which I learned. And now going to the next most important event after the vacation, we had this the most important event called sports meet. Now the sports meet falls on January 11th every year, irrespective of whether it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, anything, but it's January 11th. So on this day, all the institutions of which are brought up by Swami, Budanali, Vrindavan, Puttaparthi, all the institutions would come and they'll perform in the beautiful venue of Hillview Stadium. I don't know how many of you have seen it, because the moment you go there, you won't feel like playing, you'll feel like meditating over there. Over there you will see Buddha, over there you will see Jesus, or all Sarvadharma you will see, Sarvadharma Devatas you will see over there, and right on top you will see Hanuman. Hanuman will be standing over there at the mountain. How you will feel like playing, I don't know, you just feel like sitting over there, meditating all through your way. But then we'll be playing over there, and then those 10 days before January 11th, not 10, 20 days before January 11th is when we have all these practices for various items, and those items will be very daring items. It will not just be like some school drills which we are having here. It will be very daring items. It will be like bike stunts done by Vrindavan girls this time, and then we did a few, this one giant wheel rotation in which they'll be doing some stunts inside that, and such very great stunts, and without any ropes also. So if they fall, they'll be falling from around 25-30 feet. So it's quite dangerous. And we all do it, just like that, by taking the name of Swami. That's the best part. The moment we take the name of Swami, everything just goes up. So now while doing all this, then it was a very wonderful time. 20 days we just spent only on exercises, only on our fitness, without touching books at that time. That was the best part, because we didn't have to touch books for those 20 days. Because our teachers told, this is only for Swami, this is only for sports meet. And finally when the last day came, the display was so amazing. Means at least it was the first time for me that I have seen something so great. But all my other classmates told, yeah, what's this? Yeah, last year was much better, last class was much better. I said, hey, this is brilliant, man, first time I'm seeing it, it's awesome. I said, yeah, hey, this is nothing when you see afterwards this. I felt, wow, this itself is so cool and so awesome. I felt, after that, it was like this Independence Day and Republic Day, all this parade and all that will be going on, and all those programs and all will be going on, right? Exactly the same way it was. Full, the Hillview Stadium, about 20,000 people came to watch us that day. And it looked like it was just it just passed by like a dream, We saw so many people And it could have been done only by Swami. Because they didn't come to watch us. They came mainly because we were studying in an institution started by Swami. That is the main reason why they all came. So what I learned from this was another lesson, which is the moment we stand next to Swami, not front of him, not behind him, just next to him, just right beside him, the moment he catches hand and just walk through, there will not be any problem. And even if you do the worst thing possible, means you just, you prepare so much and go for some speech or something and then you just flop it to the court, nothing, you're just blank over there. But still, if you're catching Swami's hand, if Swami, materializes Vibhuti and gives you, or if Swami does something, or Swami claps, then, suppose you're whole Kulnathal will clap. So, it will be like, even if you did great, you did wonderfully well, Swami will just be looking at you like that, what you did, man, nothing you did, I didn't understand only anything, means, they'll clap for a while, they'll feel it's awesome, but then suddenly they'll see Swami's reaction, they'll stop clapping, they'll feel, oh, something wrong has happened. So that's what it means. The moment we do something for Swami, and we are doing together with Swami, it will always be right. So we should never ever leave his hand and do something. Although he'll never leave our hand, but we should never leave his hand and do anything. So that's another very important thing which I learned from sports meet. Now some of you might be thinking that before sports meet, which is on January 11th, there's one very important thing which I missed out. Can anybody guess? Everybody's right. Swami's birthday. Now why I didn't say that is because that is the most interesting experience which I had actually. In the sense that before I went there, it was not like Swami's miracles or something which happened to me or something like that. Nothing of that sort. My grandparents were devotees, so it just came in that flow. So it was not like some miracle happened and then it came. So I was just, I wanted some miracle, something or the other to happen. Nothing was happening. So that time I went, and then during Swami's birthday, they played a song after, I was a part of the Pujari group that time, and then we finished our puja early in the morning after Suprabhatam, and they played a song which they said that it was composed and written by Swami himself in physical form. And this did not happen in 2008, 2007 or something. This happened after Swami's Mahasamadhi. This was the best part. He composed and wrote the song. Imagine. I was awestruck when the teacher told us, our teacher Mr. Venkateshwar sir, a maths teacher, he told us that a brother named Shantanu, he was an ex-student from Sri Sathya Sai University and the high school, and he went to Raipur and started, helped to start the Sri Sathya Sai Super Speciality Hospital in Raipur, which is also there in Raipur. So over there he went, and then now he's an accountant over there. So over there, when once he called Mr. Venkateshwarlu, he told that Swami has written down a song, and then he asked Shankar Mahadevan to sing for it, and the song is ready. When do you want to take it? He asked. When do you want me to send it through an email to you? He was dumbstruck. He said, what are you talking? Swami wrote the song. What are you saying? He said. And then he was just awestruck. After that he said, okay, fine, you send the song. He heard the song. It was awesome. And after that, after 2 days, he got a call from Shantanu. And Shantanu just, he said, Sai Ram, Swami wants to speak to you. He said that, and then he immediately came to Swami. And he was just blank. Our Mr. Venkateshwar sir, he did not know what to do. Swami is speaking, and then he did not realize anything, and suddenly Swami asked one, he just threw a dart at his face. He asked one, I don't know what type of a question it is. It is just a pinpointing question. He asked. He did not say, what you had for dinner, what you did, what this, that, nothing he asked. How are you? Nothing he asked. He just directly came, he took the phone, he asked, are you working like Swami or are you working for Swami? Swami asked. In Telugu, but I am very weak in Telugu, so I do not know what he said. When he said this, he first of all didn't realize, or he just pinched himself maybe, and then he didn't know that Swami was talking to him physically over the phone. And then he was just dumbstruck. He stood up in that excitement. He narrated all of this to us in maths class. So that's why I know this. So he just stood up and then he said, Swami, I'm working for you, Swami. Swami immediately said, it's high time that you now start working like Swami, not for Swami. Then he said, okay Swami, and then he just left it blank till then. After that Swami said, after giving that bouncer, no Swami, then he just gave a very soft thing. He just said, okay, now which color dress do you think I'm wearing right now? He asked. And then our sir said, Swami, I like yellow color robe. I think you're wearing that only. Means he said, Bangal, yes, that only I'm wearing, Swami said. So, he's so loving. And then after that he said, what, my children are singing cinema songs in bathroom, I can hear every day, he said. And then he was like, I don't know, Swami, he said. Then Swami said, what you don't know? You will not know. I only know about my children, he said. So, he was so playful. And then when he said all this, we couldn't digest this. And especially the fact that just before keeping the phone, he said, Monday I'll come to the hostel. I really want to see my students. I'll come to the hostel, the senior hostel and the junior hostel. And then he kept the phone. When he said this, we all are elated. I don't know how Swami is going to come. In which form he's going to come, no one knows. But he said he's coming, right? He's coming. So that means he has assured us that he's coming. So now, so many of y'all will feel that, I have been speaking so joyfully on a day which is supposed to be a little gloomy, right? It's supposed to be Swami's Mahasamadhi day. Although Sachin Tendulkar's birthday today, but still Swami's Mahasamadhi day, which is more important. But we are still speaking with so much of happiness, and all of us are smiling over here right now. The reason being, this experience and another experience which I'm going to share with you all right now. These two experiences gave me a lot of hope and faith that Swami is there, will be there, and was there. He's always there. That was the assurance that I got and we all got as students from Swami. So this happened when we went for a class trip to Sai Anandam. Sai Anandam is in Mudanahalli, and first we went to Mudanahalli, the institution, to just see the campus, and then we went to Premdeep, Swami's residence, and then we went to Sai Anandam. Over there, it is just a beautiful place. I don't think I have time to describe the place right now. If you all want, you all can go to Google and then just search it and then check the images for yourselves. Because it's such a beautiful place. And over there, he narrated one very, very important thing which I would like to share with you all now. He said one of the parents of a student, he was over there at that time. He was doing some work over there in Mudanahalli, and then he came along with us to Sai Anandam, and then he said this. He was working in an IT department in a company in Bangalore, and then he said, when Nigerian, he came over here for some business deal, to talk about some business deal over here with our company, and then he came to my cabin to just check up something. That time he said, he looked at Swami's photo and he said, hey, I know this guy, man. Who is this? How do you have this photo? Who is this? How do you have this fellow's photo over here right now with you? He said. He looked at him and then said, what are you talking? This fellow, that fellow? No, he's my guru, he's Swami. Do not call him that. No, he said, hey, what are you talking, man? I know this guy. He comes every day to our cafe over there. He comes to the coffee shop every day. What are you talking? He said, no, he's taken Mahasamadhi already. 2 years passed already now, he said. And after that he said, no, absolutely no. Every day he comes and he speaks to us. We have a coffee together, and then he tells us, no, this business deal is the best. You go to Bangalore, you go to US, you go to Canada. He says all this, man. That's how. I listen to him, I do everything works perfectly. He said this, and then he was dumbstruck, and then the next thing which he did was he came to us and then narrated this incident. So this happened to him some 3 or 4 days back, and then we came to Sai Anandam and then he narrated this to us. So these two experiences gave me so much of hope that Swami is there with us right now. It's not that Swami has taken the back seat and we have taken the front seat and all that. All that is nonsense. Nothing of that sort. It's always Swami in the front seat, always, and we'll just be sitting in the seat next to the driver's seat. That's what it will always be. Just because we see how he's driving, it doesn't mean we can start driving, isn't it? So we'll always be going together with Swami in this beautiful journey of life. And hopefully I have also given you all some amount of faith that Swami is still there with us and he's listening to each and everything that I am speaking right now, I think. And hopefully it was a very, hopefully I didn't bore you all so much. And it's time for dinner, I think. And thank you for giving this opportunity. Jai Jai Sai. Jai Sai Ram.